What's up, fam? Welcome back to Off the Reservation, a show that has had some tasty jams. I'm your number one wizard, Mal.
I'm El.
And I'm the son of Picasso.
Tasty jams, that's a throwback to, what's his name? Jack Black?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. School of Rock.
Chables.
Yeah,
I think he goes by Chables, right?
Yeah, I think so.
On his online stuff.
Well, I heard that him and, what's his name? Case had a falling out.
What?
Yeah.
Tenacious D's on the rocks?
I heard that. I mean, like, apparently they had a concert and they were live in concert and he got angry and left. I don't know. That's just the headline I saw. I'm just, telling stories outside of school.
Like, Jack Black is so funny, man. Like,
He's hilarious.
He's a great. Yeah, he's like a born entertainer, man.
Yeah, like.
Did you guys see that? He did like one of those like Vanity Fair things where he goes over his career.
Yeah.
And one of his first movie appearances was in this movie called Johnny Skidmark. It was called. And he was like, I remember we were filming, and I talked to the director. I was like, hey man, don't you think we could change the name? and the director was like, no, it's a cool name. He's like, no, but do you know what skid marks are? And the director's like, no, it means like you're leaving somewhere really fast and you're leaving marks on the ground. He's like, that's not what it means, man. He's like, they never did change the name.
Oh my.
He's like, I'm not too proud of that, but it was my first project, so
Dude, I tell you, like, first projects are the funniest things. Like okay, so for anyone who's tuning in on this episode, we're kind of just gonna go back and rehash some of the older topics that we had, especially
the leftovers.
The leftovers from season one, and we're gonna go over them. We have a few months of hindsight, and hindsight is like 2020, and on Thursdays it's about 40% off. So you can get that in bulk. Get that at Costco.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we were talking about what's it called? The episode of Natives in Space. And just recently, just recently in the news, we had the first Native American woman go into space, and she answered the age-old question, if you went into space, what would you take? And apparently she took a dream catcher.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she apparently, from the article that I saw, is she had taken a dream catcher with her, and it was given to her by her mother.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is pretty cool, like a dream catcher in space.
That's legit.
That's legit. Do you think she sleeps with it by her head too? I mean, I think you have to, right?
I don't know if they have like rearview mirrors and like in spaceships, because that's like
just kind of hanging off the rear.
Yeah, right. At the front of the rocket. Oh man, yeah, no, that's cool. I know. Yeah, we talked about. I think her name was Nicole. Do you have her name?
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah.
Well, you guys looked that up. What would you take in space?
Oh man.
To represent your native culture.
Oh man, I don't know. Probably
just yourself.
just me. 100% native right here. No.
You take your leather spandex.
Yeah. That pleather. No, I don't know. See, that's weird because I don't have any artifacts that are like unique to my indigenous background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't like my family my parents didn't grow up giving us like regalia or anything like that. You know what I mean? So I don't actually have anything.
I'll give you some.
I think I might have baby moccasins, but I don't have a pair of moccasins now.
Yeah.
Just
I should
put them on your big
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
put those on on the rear view mirror.
It's like, what did Elliot take with him to space? He took baby moccasins.
So her name was Nicole Mann.
Oh yeah.
And she's
from California, tribe out in California.
Yeah.
Remember them?
Walalaki?
Yeah, we don't try too hard because
yeah,
we're probably not gonna say it the right way anyways. But
I'm
no,
so sorry.
Yeah, no.
Well, I think that's the funny thing is like a lot of people think like they come up to me and they're like, "Hey, so I found out that I'm this tribe out in East Coast tribe and it's some," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about those tribes. Like I'm Southwest, dude. Like
Yeah.
I know Pueblo and I know Navajo and Apache.
Yeah,
like,
people assume we all know each other and like interconnected. Like,
Yeah, that is kind of weird. I'll be at an art show and like they'll just come up and be like, "Hey, do you know such and such? They're a really cool jeweler." I'm like, sorry, man, I don't.
no.
And then they'll throw out 5 other names, and I'm like, no. And you know, it wouldn't be that type of like. You would think, okay, we run in the same circles, okay, but it's like every show there's like a good 20, 30 Anglos just asking me, "Hey, I got such and such work. Do you know them?" And I'm like, "No, sorry." And sometimes like I like to mess with them. Like if I know the artist, I'll be like, "No, sorry, I've never heard of him."
It's like, do you know?
He does those.
Like he does nudes, right?
There's like
I
you
posed
go
for
in-
him last week.
He does clay nudes.
Hey man, that would be that. You know, I do so much different stuff. I might start doing that clay nudes
Nice.
for you to really get your hands on.
For the holiday season.
You got all those stumps in your yard now.
Oh, yeah, you can
get
make-
into chainsaw art.
Yeah,
Chainsaw nudes.
Yeah, chainsaw nudes.
I could see that on the front page of the Navajo Times. Like, Navajo boy makes it big, making chainsaw nudes.
Well, let me tell you something. Like I remember when we first started down this road of doing a show. Doing as I was like, you know what? I want to be so well off, you know, maybe wealthy, that I can start having phallic imagery as art around my house. Like you go into any of these people who have like, what was it we saw in This Is the End, James Franco.
Yeah.
He had the giant penis couch, penis chair, and I was like, why would you have that? And he's like, it's art. And like you go to and visit other people's house and they're like, "Oh, I got this fertility sculpture from Africa when I went down there on safari," and it's, you know,
Yeah. No,
You know, it's
a
actually not
sculpture
that
to
far
me.
fetched. So the last show I did, there was a guy in front of me from Alaska, and he was selling like whale penis, like literally like
Carved out of ivory.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it was
man.
just like, wow, and like people were digging it. Like those
Yeah.
tourists were like, "What? No way!"
It's like the ultimate sign of status.
yeah.
Oh man.
And so pretty soon, anyone watching us, you're gonna tune in, and there's gonna be just phallic imagery over the TV, and you'll know we
Please
made
don't.
it.
Please don't.
You'll know we made it then.
I remember earlier this season we also talked about our first jobs
Oh yeah.
and some of those. That was a trip, man.
You remember your first job? What was
Yeah, I
it?
think my first job was working in a hotel. Yours was Hastings,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And yours was
Oh, mine was
R.I.P.
Sizzler, man.
Oh yeah, that's right, Sizzler. Yeah, Sizzler.
Sizzler.
Man, that was a fun job, man.
You know what we never did? We never went out to Gallup to go to Sizzler.
Oh,
It's got to be season 3.
yeah. Season 3.
Season 3.
Take a road trip to Gallup.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
man.
know, and along that lines of like talking about like things that we said we do but we didn't do. Well, we did get that Patreon.
We did start a Patreon, and for those of you listening now, you can go to our website. We'll have that link in the description, but you could subscribe and help us out. You know,
Pay for snacks and food.
yeah, it's really just kind of goes to the general fund here, helping us all with the production of this thing.
Just
whether it
bring
be-
you guys fun content to
Yeah.
get through the day with.
Yeah, and
And-
we hope you guys are enjoying what we got to say.
And then we can
we're having
go-
fun. That's for sure.
Yeah, help us fund our excursion over to
Yeah, if you want to see that
Sizzler.
Sizzler, subscribe now.
I mean, do you remember how much it was? It was like what, maybe like
Oh, meat ain't cheap these days, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably be like $20 a plate over there.
Oh, easy. No more, dude.
Sizzler, I'm gonna have to get my fancy clothes out.
Man, that was the place to work back in the day. Like it was fun. It was like, cause like you know how you were talking about how like the movie Waiting,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it wasn't like people didn't do anything to people's food, right? But it was just
Yeah.
that camaraderie of like the night starting and like things are getting busy, and
Yeah.
then you see like a ton of people. And then you just start to see food getting pumped out, and then like you're like, oh
Well,
wow,
you're working with all these different personalities too. You know,
Yeah.
everybody like interacts with their customers differently,
Mhm.
and like it's like some of them are really nice, some of them are nice, and then they come back and they're screaming,
And then
it's
you like hear like each of the servers spiel. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
oh, he's working for the tips.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
they're like, oh yeah, he's really putting it on now. He
Yeah.
knows these guys will tip. Yeah,
So that was a really fun job to have.
yeah. All right. Well, hey, we're gonna take a quick break with these leftover episode. We'll be
Yeah,
right back.
leftovers. And we're back with those leftovers.
Yeah.
Steaming right out of the microwave.
Yeah.
You got to let it sit for a minute though. You don't want to burn your tongue.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, leftovers. Have you guys seen Grandma's Boy? Where he burns his hands on the leftover tray?
Yeah.
He's like, of course you wouldn't have a microwave. She's 80.
Dude, I haven't seen that in forever.
Oh,
Hey,
that's
speaking about Grandma's Boy. Do you guys remember that? Do you remember the episode, The Green Wave, we did?
Oh gosh.
Not to bring up he's not a Grandma's Boy, but yeah, no, we talked to Bernie, our friend Bernie, about.
Well, no, that
About
movie's
the-
just a stoner staple.
It is.
So,
yeah,
you know.
I made the connection there.
It's like, was
you
that
know,
an expensive piece?
Oh man, no, but we got a lot of feedback from people on that
Mhm.
episode. You know, people were just general interest. You know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
cannabis became legalized here in New Mexico earlier this
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
and the business, I guess, has really been booming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought that was a cool episode. We got to talk to someone who works in the industry. You know,
You know, that was a cool episode to talk about. And it's interesting that we're doing this discussion because I didn't get to bring up one aspect that I really wanted to bring up. And that was the idea of getting completely out of the system, right? Like becoming your own grower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can become your own grower and grow your own cannabis, then you don't even have to partake in this whole system of getting taxed in sales, right? Because like these
Be
things
like George Washington.
grow for free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can maintain it and cultivate it and grow it, then it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
Like you can't, that doesn't happen in the alcohol industry. Well, I mean, it, you know what I mean? They have
Yeah.
stills and stuff.
well, it's
but-
not legal, I guess.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think you could sell it for other people's consumption.
What, cannabis?
Either.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, in
can't
my case,
imagine.
like I grow, and it's more so because I don't want to have to pay a state tax, and I don't want to have to make somebody else rich off of my own money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
If you can grow your own tomatoes, grow your own tomatoes. If you can grow your own eggs,
Yeah,
know,
I wonder
do
how how that sits because I mean, like at the same time, I don't have to go. You know, if I grow my own strawberries, I don't have to go to Walmart to grab get my
Yeah.
own strawberries.
and so that's what I we were talking about this. I'm like, you know, yes, it is good to do those sales, right? And it was a step forward in cannabis, right? Like cannabis needed that step forward.
yeah,
But at the same time, I also believe that cannabis is for the people, right?
Yeah.
Like, why should we have to be taxed and have to pay
Be
for
subject
something
to
that
the
God
government.
made for free?
Yeah,
You know, and that's my whole. I guess that's the. I guess extreme outlook I have on
Yeah.
it. I guess.
Well, like with the bill that passed, they did make it legal for people to have their own plants. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's almost like they gave a way for people to, you know, and it's like with most things, like you could make your own. You know, you could do your. There's a lot of things where you could make your own stuff, or you could build your own. You know,
yeah.
but a lot of people don't
Don't.
either have the time or they don't
Well,
want to.
they don't have the. I mean, to be honest with you, they don't have the green thumb to do it. To grow cannabis is extremely hard. Just in like, you know how your friend Stabby was here talking about the cleanliness.
Yeah.
If you don't keep your grow clean, then that's a huge part of growing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't have your pH right.
Yeah.
These things are going to just shrivel up. Like, they're not weeds, so to say. Like, it's quite literally like a delicate plant that's almost like a snowflake. You're taking care of a snowflake to try to get it to do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But it's you know.
Yeah. No, that was it was definitely an interesting conversation we had.
Oh yeah,
I think that's something we could probably talk about again in the future.
Yeah.
You know, I think it'd be cool to have Bernie on again, and you know,
Or even find somebody who actually has that down to a science, like has, you know, some letters behind their name on how to do all those things. Because I mean, like I don't know, being Native American, like there was a woman who had done a TED talk. Her name was her name is Lila June, and I think I had sent you guys her TED talk, but she talked about how Native Americans weren't these wandering tribes searching for berries on the ground.
yeah,
It was the Native Americans were terraforming all the United States, you know, the entire Americas, and how in her doctoral research, she had found that the Great Plains were the Great Plains because they were terraformed to be the Great Plains, that Native Americans had gone through and burned it out so that way it would grow grasslands, that there wasn't any trees, that it would be fertile soil so that way they can make terraform the land to fit the buffalo. And that's why the buffalo were in that area, is because they had terraformed it, and that it had like a 4 foot or 4 meter topsoil specifically made so that way it could do all those things.
yeah,
And how certain areas they flooded certain and performed all these things. How in the Southwest, the Navajos and a lot of the Native Americans had sowed their farms in watersheds and stuff like that. And so like just like the fact that like Native Americans have been, you know, growing things for generations and generations, and how instead of forcing the land to do what we want, we've been working with the land to do all that. And I mean, I'd like to interview her and have her talk about those kinds of things.
that would be cool.
yeah,
That'd be really cool.
yeah. No,
Just like off the idea of like growing, because I mean, like obviously, like, you know, the three of us, we've all had a hand in growing. I mean, landscaping
or
that
yard work.
yard work, that kind of thing. But I mean, I remember like growing up and mom had like tomato plants and all kinds of vegetable plants.
Like house plants. Like I've always loved the idea of like growing things, like just cultivating, just watching things change with the seasons. Like that's always been
dude.
fun.
I planted squash one year, and I had squash, so much squash, man, so much squash.
Dude, that's like grandpa. Grandpa's always growing vegetables,
he's got a
and then he
garden in
comes
the back, and
he's always like, "Hey, do you want any more
gives you
tomatoes?"
a big old like bag of veg. He's like, "No, I got more in the back." It's like, oh,
Yeah, I
geez.
remember your
got
dad
plums.
planted that garden at Carlisle, and that thing was like that garden
He's
was
a huge producer of vegetables. Yeah, yeah.
and that thing was just a sand lot. Like, how did he get all that out of there? Like, that's
made me feel bad when I thought about all of those times we go outside and pour chemicals. You know, like the leftover or the paint or whatever. You know, it's like, I just go dig a hole. Got some bacon grease. Go dig a hole. I don't think it was ever in the garden area before then, but
It's
you know,
okay. Maybe they're stronger.
who knows? You know, someone could have, I guess. But those vegetables were great.
They were delicious.
All right, man. Well, hey, we're going to take another quick break. Hope you guys are enjoying this leftovers episode of Off the Reservation.
Would that have made them GMOs?
Maybe. Yeah. What does GMO stand for?
genetically modified organism.
Modified organism, yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely. We'll be back.
We'll be back.
I got to call my doctor.
Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the show. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe. And remember to share the show, because sharing is caring. Now back to the show. What's up, guys? We're back from this short break, and man, we were really feeling that intro.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
It's the leftovers episode, man.
Leftovers.
Gotta get into it.
Yeah, feeling it. You know, like I think the cool thing about like being able to look back after it's been like a few months. I mean, the year's almost over.
Yeah, it's wild that we've have this many episodes. It's been fun to chat with you guys.
I don't know.
About.
I think the cool thing is like this has been kind of like a therapy session for me. Like I've been able to like off camera, we've talked about like our lives and how we feel about things. And being able to bring in guests, and I think like one of my favorite guests. Yeah.
We've had a lot of guests this season. Oh, we made a concerted effort to get more guests this season.
Yes.
And I think we achieved that.
Yeah.
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 Who are you gonna say?
I was gonna say like my favorite guest that we had talked to, which is crazy for me because our friend Dave Dutzway, Dancing Dave Dutzway.
Yeah, Dave.
Because Dancing Dave Dutzway in the Applausometer.
Yes. Shout out Dave.
But like the
Shout
fact
out
that
Beth.
like this guy, like he's an unsuspecting guy. Like he, you know, we like grew up with him. He took us to camp, and he was our youth pastor for a while.
Still owes me an ice cream cone.
It was a cherry dip cone.
Yeah, cherry dip cone. That
Cherry
was
dip
always
cone.
his thing. He used to always, we'd be like, oh, Dave, like, can we go, like, you know, he'd be like, you know, hey, you said we were going to do this. He'd be like, oh, no. Yeah, we'll do it next time. He's like, you know what? We'll go next time. I'll get you guys a cherry dip cone. Like, all right. And like, he said that like the whole summer, man. And we never got that cherry dip cone. And then one day he did.
He did do it.
He's a good
But
guy. He
he's
makes good on his promises.
Yeah, but I mean, like the fact that like this guy that we grew up with,
Yeah.
was also like working for the government, and you know was like telling us stories,
Yeah, it's some interesting stories, you know.
and then it would be like, well, I can't tell you about that, but
No.
He'd like omit certain parts of the story.
Yeah.
He's like, let's fast forward 5 minutes. Something.
I wonder if the story. What if the stories weren't that interesting actually, but he knew what parts to omit to make it just sound so mysterious, you know?
the
Maybe,
yada yada yada.
Yeah, maybe,
Just like-
yeah, you know, he was just like he knew how to captivate that audience, you know.
he's like, well, we went in there and I plugged in my flash drive and downloaded all the files, and you know,
Yada yada yada.
but then afterwards I went and I ate some horse over at this place,
I
and it was
remember
really good.
that. He went into a cafe and was like, "Oh yeah, I'll try the special or whatever," and then found out it was like a stew or something.
It was
But
horse
like
stew,
he
yeah.
omitted was like he's like I had to go in, I had to put on my tuxedo, I had to get in my Beamer, and then I had to get my earpiece.
It was a
and-
native
"Da-da."
James Bond.
Da-da.
What would that intro music be for a native James Bond? Would
Well,
it be like flute music?
It would have to have flute music. Drums and flute music. That's what it was.
Yeah, no, but we had some other great guests this season. Like we mentioned, we talked to Bernie, and we had a whole episode about the cannabis industry here in New Mexico, and some of his work with tribes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's connected with you know, the Comanche tribe. You know,
Yeah,
works
that was
with
tribe,
them.
yeah.
But you know, we also spoke with our other friend, like you mentioned, Stavi,
Stavi,
with New Mexico fungi or NM fungi, and he came in and threw some knowledge about mushrooms all over. Man, yeah, it was cool listening to him. He's got just a wealth of knowledge. About
Stavi, if you're listening, I'm really sorry. I butchered those mushrooms you gave us. I feel so bad. Like I tried to do it,
Yeah,
and I like even Googled it, and no,
yeah.
just
Oh, Kat killed it, man.
yeah.
Yeah, she cooked those mushrooms good. Should have just gave them to me.
I know. I'm gonna ask Kat if she can, you know, cook the rest of my mushrooms.
Yeah, but and then we also got Mal, your friend. We got your friend Jason.
Yeah.
Jason Sunday. Yeah,
I mean, he's a good dude. Like, I
he's
mean,
a really good dude, man.
Yeah.
It was
dude,
cool.
like I love Jason. Love Jason. He whenever we post up anything, like he usually shares it and like gets the word out
Yeah.
about it. And he's he's an actor. He's like a really cool dude. And I know he's working right now. Like you see his Instagram and his Facebook blowing
Yeah.
up, like showing off images of him
I
doing
always
stuff.
dig creative people like that are like always on. Like for me, like I'm creative, but like I'm just like I'm so like in inner like
Yeah.
INFG. I'm just like I'll show you a glimpse of what I'm working on, but even that's so much work. Like people like him are like, let me show you what I'm working on, and it's exciting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
People like that
no,
get
he
you.
knows how to.
Yeah.
he knows how to.
He did a painting with like I think it was Chief Joseph or something like
Yeah.
that, and he had like done some other stuff to it. Did
Was that
some
like the
alteration.
neon?
Yeah, the neon.
I saw that. That was
Oh,
cool.
I think it
Neon
was
art.
Sitting Bull. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sitting bull.
Yeah. That was cool. Well, shout out Jason.
Yeah.
It was a great time having a chat with you. And then of course we had our cousin Phil
Yeah.
on, and we talked a little bit about what it was like working in the medical field a little bit during the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
All throughout COVID, actually, he worked through in the medical field. So
Yeah.
that was kind of a crazy topic because you don't think about. You don't get to hear as many of those inside stories from
Yeah.
inside hospital or,
Yeah.
what it was like for that staff at that time,
Mhm.
because I don't know, we were all freaked out, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I was freaked out when I was in there, but,
Yeah.
to just think that those people
Like,
all have families they got to
yeah.
go home to, or
Yeah.
didn't sometimes, they stayed, like
Mhm.
he was saying, I didn't know they were like making accommodations for
Mhm.
Yeah.
doctors and staff to stay somewhere else,
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
So, what a crazy time in history.
I think what's cool about that is like more natives are like taking jobs in like cool places like healthcare, like right, like I just think it's cool. Like I'm gonna start requesting that I get like just helped by like native doctors.
Oh man. And then of course we got a chance to speak to the incredible Jane Myers.
Oh,
Yes.
That was a really cool episode, just simply for the fact that we got to ask her all the questions about
Yeah.
the project that Prey that she worked on.
Yeah. Seriously. I mean, like the fact that all of us were Predator fans and
We're all predators. I mean, Predator fans. Fans of Predators? No.
But I mean, yeah, we were like the Alien, the Predator industry is like huge. I mean, like I still remember like when I was a kid, like, and I loved watching what's it called, Alien. The original was Sigourney Weaver, and then like eventually like then when was it Danny Glover took over for Predator.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dude, those
See, I even love the crossovers where like Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people didn't like those. I was just like, no way.
Yeah.
that was cool.
Yeah.
It was a neat mashup. And then let's not forget about our very first guest of the second season, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had her on to talk about our first jobs.
Yeah, first jobs. I think, and see, that was the thing, is like she helped me get my first like actual being paid jobs.
Yeah.
At
So she
Hastings.
worked at Hastings before you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She.
And then you wrote her name down as a reference, and they were like, "Oh,
Yeah, that's how I
She's a good
got
worker.
my first job. I
Yeah.
had a
Yeah.
homie that was working as a cashier, and he's like,
me too."
yeah,
Yeah.
It's all about who you know.
Yeah. It's all about having those good friends, man, and they help you out. So, yeah. Who am I missing anybody else? I think we mentioned everybody, right?
Yeah, I think.
We had a lot of guests, guys, and we were excited grateful for all of you guys that have been on the show. Thanks so much, and I hope listeners have enjoyed hearing what they have to say about all these different topics we've been talking about. So,
Sure.
Mhm.
yeah. All right, man. You guys got anything else you want to talk about? On
Yeah,
this
no.
leftovers episode?
I mean, like, did that guy really get upset about you guys drinking all his Gatorade and dunking on his hoops? Like, I know I keep bringing that up.
I know you're obsessed with me dunking on the hoops.
Like, I'm just saying, like, I got a house now, and if my son had friends and they came over and I put in a in-ground basketball hoop.
Yeah, I think this is just like it's a bigger topic,
Bigger
conversation.
topic.
Because I think there was a race, I think there was a racial divide there.
Oh, I thought you were saying like you guys raced him and beat him and had like
there was a big race, and he was upset.
It was a fast 10 situation.
You know, it's interesting that you bring up the idea of race, because we've talked about a lot of touchy topics.
Yeah,
Like we've talked about, police brutality. We've talked about racism in the school system.
Yeah.
We've talked about all kinds of different things. And sometimes these things aren't easy to talk about.
no, it's like I said, it's a bigger conversation.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
and behind the scenes, like we're like, are we ready to talk about this? Are we ready? And we don't
Like
want
the
to
mass
offend
graves
some of
and
you
everything. Yeah, we
guys,
don't
but at
always
the
go
same
there.
time, it's not easy being
It ain't
It's
greasy,
easy.
man.
off the reservation.
It
You
ain't
know,
easy being greasy. Yeah. No, I think that's something we should bring up. That's definitely a topic we should talk about, because I've had experiences where it's like
like race
looking
is
back,
a big thing.
looking back now, I'm thinking, oh, maybe it was because of this, because there was a clear line of like something dividing,
Yeah.
and so we could talk about that. I just don't think we need to on this leftovers episode.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if you guys don't have anything else, I think
Yeah.
we're gonna let this one go for this week. Hope you guys have a good week,
Yeah.
and we'll be back next week.
let that beat drop.
Remember to rate, review, and subscribe
You know it. Every week, every day.
all day, every day.
All right, guys. We'll catch you later.
Open my rock store or just let it sit there.
If you're gonna open it, do it now.